Wait.
We got
All
Levi.
right. We're recording now. All right, we're
We're
live.
recording now.
Yes.
Episode 5, Part 2, Jake and Casey's podcast. We got a couple guests here today. We got Levi. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody?
What up, Levi?
What's up, Casey?
How you doing, man? Good.
Still vertical.
Still vertical. You haven't had enough of something to put you on your ass yet, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
All right, you'll get there.
I just had to make a dinner, so yeah, you know.
What'd you guys eat?
Little pork loin, some corn on the cob, grilled broccoli. You know, I did all the work on the grill. Make it easy.
Yeah, dude. Grilling is good because there's not a lot of shit to clean up.
This is true. And plus, I have a bunch of people here to do all the other work. So, anyways, let's pass it around. Let's get Mr. Michael J. Havoc.
Oh, come on.
What up, Mike?
Okay, hell yeah.
How you doing, bud?
I'm trying to finish eating. Here, you can have it.
I'd like to make this awkward as possible.
So how have you been?
I've been good. I got my hair cut today, so I don't look as
Nice.
bald.
Oh, yeah. I still look terrible, so.
Doing just fine, man.
Thank you. Here's the other person.
Oh, surprise guest. What's going on?
Zach, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on? It's been a minute.
It's been yeah, it has been a minute. How you been, bud?
Been good.
Good.
Good seeing you. Good seeing you.
You too. You holding it down?
Holding it down. Well, obviously not tonight, but
Keep the Steven in line.
keeping Stephen alive in the gay bar.
Trying to keep this.
So yeah, welcome everybody. We I don't know if you guys caught what did you upload yesterday's, Jake?
Yeah, I put it out there on the interweb.
Yeah, we were throwing some conspiracy theories around. You know, I was hoping
We're
to
talking
get
about wolf hybrid people.
yeah. You see,
The dire wolves are going to take over. You guys read about the dire wolves? Yeah.
All right, well, they're back.
yeah, they're back.
I bet can't end well.
They're back, and they're going to start breeding with humans. So
I fucking seen Game of Thrones. This only ends a couple of ways.
Dude, I gotta watch that. I keep hearing, I keep hearing about watching that.
That's really 2%.
I've watched. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey,
Trying to click at least one.
I know what's happening. I guess we're just passing along.
you're just in the you're just in the train right now of comedians.
But the direwolf thing is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't. You know, it seems like a really bad idea. I mean, it's kind of cool that they can do it, but it's going to end bad.
we have little dogs, so they're like this. But I've always dreamt of having a dog I could ride into battle. So
Yeah.
I would love to have a direwolf. So
You can ride that dog into battle. You know, just give him.
You know, the DNA they're using is like 12 to 72,000 years old.
Yeah, and
I
think if I got it right, they're mixing it with like some gray wolf DNA. So, like, there's nerds that are arguing about it, like, well, it's not a real dire wolf. It's like, God, you know, like whatever it is, they created it in a lab, you know, and like shoved an embryo up some other wolf, and like, I don't know, all that shit. When you have anything that's born in a non-natural way, I think there's going to be a side effect, and it's going to be bad. You know,
Dude, that's like some 23andMe crap. Like, it's like, I'm 12% Colombian, but oh, you're not really.
yeah. There was, you know, I guess some dude went on Rogan and he was telling everybody about it, and then like, then the internet got a hold of it, and then the nerds started arguing about like, oh, it's technically not a real dire wolf because they could only extract so much of the DNA. It's like, yeah, who really cares? I mean, there's some of an extinct. They created a new species then from something extinct.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, hey, don't worry, that can still backfire on us. I mean,
I was going to say that.
yeah,
exactly.
Did you see that there was that two of them were already born? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, they're
It's
like
called. One of them is Romulus. The other one is
Remus?
Yeah,
That's so gay.
it's a funny name.
It's just a Roman. Everybody's doing this Roman dick sucking thing.
Well, no, dude.
Rome's not that cool. There are other civilizations.
That's all. It's Bulk of Saturn bullshit is what it all is.
I mean, people think that we're similar to Rome, and so we're going to construct these paradigms, and we're going to worship.
Well, their politicians did fuck a lot of boys too.
Yeah, and I think
Sure, you can do parallels and overlap with so much different history. It doesn't mean that like the exact same shit is going to happen.
right, or there's the other way of looking at it. Like, all right, so I look at it as like, all right, any civilization that's successful goes through like a period of, all right, it's ruins, it forms something, it's empire, it spreads out, and then a bunch of crazy shit starts happening and it collapses. And I think there's the United States sort of is at that point where people are going, all right, is it going to continue building or does it collapse?
Yeah.
Like maybe a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both.
Romulus. Speaking of Romulus, did you guys see the new Alien movie?
Is it any good?
It was fucking dope.
So what is? I mean, that's like the guy that founded Rome, right? So
Yeah.
what are they saying about the direwolf? Like, it might be going back to you guys talking about the fucking werewolf guy, dude.
Maybe. It all leads back to that.
I mean, that sounds crazy, but very woo-woo. Very woo-wolf.
We were saying there's going to be a war between the lizard people and the wolf people, I think, was our fear.
The mole people.
The mole people aren't a threat. They're passive.
Yeah, well, and they could be taken over by, like, the lizard people are by nature subterranean. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard this
throw that out
lady who's like this
They're taken out.
Peruvian scholar today from France saying that they have like the Incan people had ancient mummies of like reptilians and like a homunculus like type, like smaller gray looking alien and stuff. And they were gonna be in like the National Peruvian Museum, but I guess like the government came and swooped them up. But
they don't want you to know that they exist. Like you can't disprove lizard people, but you can't really
What
prove
about,
them either.
what about a hieroglyphic of like this huge alien just titty fucking the Sphinx? They're like, they were here.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be wild.
I've seen that.
I mean, I think everybody kind of thinks maybe. I think it's normal to think that people from you think about ancient civilizations like two ways: A, they were a bunch of idiots, or B, that they were like far superior to us. Like and knew secret things that we've forgotten. And like, I think it like with most things, it's probably a little bit of both. Like they were doing their sacrifices one way before like we started thinking about it metaphorically, and now we do sacrifices a different way.
Am I getting another call? Who's that?
As time evolves, man, we do different things.
Yeah,
It's cool now.
yeah, we do our
Back in the
child.
day,
We do our child.
You could sacrifice people all the time.
Yeah, we do it. We do it now too. They just call it abortion.
I think it was the Aztecs and the Mayans that did this. I think the Incans were actually a little bit more evolved. That's where they found
The Incans drowned women in wells.
Yeah,
That was pretty.
But yeah,
I'm not going to say that's pretty cool, but
they did. They had water temples and sky
they
temples.
did do that.
And a bunch of crazy stuff. And they say even like underneath a bunch of those like Machu Picchu and all those ruins down there that they have like it's like the Gaza Strip where they have like these rivers underneath, and they're made in like this diagonal form, I guess. And there's a bunch of limestone down there, and so the limestone automatically charges with electricity. I don't know if you know that, like limestone sidewalk. You get shocked on that. Did you guys know that?
No idea.
I found that out today.
Didn't know it.
I saw a story of a dude running a jackhammer in the rain, standing on concrete, and got electrocuted because he ground it out into the concrete or whatever.
Dude, that would
I didn't
suck.
believe it. I'm like, the lady was talking about how the limestone conducts electricity. I'm like, this is bullshit. But I guess concrete has a bunch of quartz crystal in it too, which is another thing that makes it very conductive. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about.
It's a PSA. Next time you're out jackhammering in the rain, just make sure you're not hitting limestone.
Don't hit limestone.
Don't do construction during rain.
No, dude. And the other thing when you're doing construction is, nothing new after 2. That's my rule.
So you've had a construction job, Levi. Who else here has worked construction?
I mean, Zach, his side hustle is, you work at your dad's nursery?
Yeah, well, there's no construction.
Not with kids, with that mustache, thank God. But, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I had a construction
cool.
job when I was like 18. And it was like when you're a new guy on the construction job, it was like I was in a hick town in Pennsylvania, and everybody on the job site's name was Dave except me. And I don't even think they knew my name for like 2 months. They just called me new guy. And like when you're a new guy, you're subjected to like hazing. They see how long you're gonna last, so they give you like the best jobs. I did insulation for like a month straight, and it was like my second or third day. I just got my arm out of a cast. My elbow was broken after one of my classmates totaled my car, and I told them, I'm like, I can't do anything like with real heavy stuff. And they were like, all right, take that pile of concrete and like move it, because they're gonna call you up for being a bitch. Then they gave me a jackhammer. I was jackhammering tiles off the wall, and it started snowing. And these guys, I was just listening to like the foreman. He's like, hey, new guy, get your ass up there on that roof and shovel it off. And it was a metal roof. There was no point in it. And he called the other Daves out there to watch me. And like, dude, I almost fell. It wasn't like super high, but I could have definitely re-broke that arm. I slipped. I slipped like right to the edge of the roof, and all the Daves were laughing at me. And they go, hey, dummy, the roof doesn't need to be the roof doesn't need to be shoveled. We just wanted to see if you'd follow instructions. Like, all right. And then they learned my name shortly afterwards.
How long did it take him to start gluing your shit to the ground? And you ever do that?
I only lasted about. I lasted
nailing the guy's fucking nail pouch to the floor.
It was the hiding your tool belt and unplugging the extension cord on your tools.
Dude, don't put your keys down. That's as soon as I see someone there.
No, don't
going on top of the porta potty, 100%.
And don't leave food around, because they'll eat it, and then nobody's done it, and everybody knows who's done it.
Eating it is the nicest thing they'll do to your food. Just don't trust them with food. If it looks like there's 2 nut imprints on there is.
Dude, I was making $6.50 an hour in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, and it was like in the winter. And it was after my 90 days, I got like an 18-cent raise. And the guy looks at me dead in the eyes and he goes, hey man, I just want to let you know you're doing good. He's like, if you play your cards right, next year this time you could be making $7. And I was like, I think I'm gonna get another job. Like that was it.
The Jewish part of Casey was like respect.
They did a very good job at keeping those salaries low. Because like to live off of like $6.50, and then like it was like, all right, I went from like $6.50 to $6.68. The 18-cent raise itself was like kind of insulting, and it was. Yeah. Their last name was Grimm, so I don't even think it was like Jewish guys.
$7.20 a month. A week.
Well, $7 a month. This isn't India, dude. But still,
$20 a month.
What was crazy though is that like, all right, so back in like 1999, 2000, you could you could make $7 an hour, and with 2 roommates, you could support yourself and live. Like that's not a reality any longer.
Yeah.
At least in Scranton, you could. What's that?
That was the late 1900s.
It sounds really different when you put it that way. Yeah, the very late 1900s.
2000s are that far away.
But like, yeah. And what happened? Because like my apartment was like, I don't know, it wasn't even $400 a month, and it was a 3-bedroom. Now, granted, it was in Scranton, Pennsylvania, but still, up there now, like an apartment goes for $1,000 a month. $1,000, $1,200, and I'm sure they're still paying. What is minimum wage now?
It's still so low.
Depends on if you're the federal government or not.
Are you
I don't know.
You can't live off of it.
Or Mikey, that might be older than all that. Sorry.
$15 an hour.
$13 an hour. Yeah, see, like back then, if I was making 13 an hour, I'd be rich. Like I remember, I got my first job at $9 an hour, and I was super excited. I was like, "Holy crap, 9 an hour!" Because like you could live very well off of $9 an hour. You know, you work. Yeah, minimum wage at the time was like $5.25. That wasn't that long ago. I'm not that old, but like
cost of living's just gone up so dramatically.
yeah, like you can't live off of 13 an hour.
Service industry, like server minimum wage, has gone up twice, I think, in 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know how this sustains itself. Like I remember talking to a couple people that worked in real estate, and they're like, "Oh, everything's just going to keep going up forever." It's like, yeah, well, not salaries. You know, like those don't seem to be going up like at all. Like
Yeah.
it's just nuts. I don't know what the younger people are going to do. Like
Eggs were $9 at the grocery store the other day. I'm like, I'm not getting that.
That's insane.
what eggs were $9?
That used to be the cheap thing you could buy to feed yourself between paychecks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was what you bought when you were poor because they were like $1 for a dozen, 89 cents. Dude, gas used to be.
It's like egg houses of the chicks that we like. At an egg chick's house, paying that much money for eggs. Like I'm expecting something to happen.
Yeah.
Well,
It's some finger action.
well, we live together, so I hope you wouldn't egg our house.
Yeah, on that post egging.
I'm gonna heavy pitch it.
You would have to clean up your own egging if you egged our house.
You got rich people if you're egging houses now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's a rich person.
You have to do a crime before that crime.
Yeah.
You fund to rob somebody and then
You're gonna have to resort.
So it elevates the status of egging.
That's not felony for stealing eggs.
Do you guys know what mischief night is? Any of you ever heard of? Okay. Yeah. I found a lot of people like didn't know what that was down here. Yeah, the day before. I think it's an up north thing.
You get a
day
note
before
about
Halloween.
That come inside of your Jinkos when you buy them. So
What's that?
So I don't know about it. Mischief night.
You don't know about mischief
Is
night?
that what the crow is about?
No, man, it's the day before Halloween. So like,
Isn't that the crow?
I have no idea.
Isn't it the day before Halloween?
Colton's texting me. One second.
Should
he pull up?
You would like throw toilet
Casey,
paper.
I'm listening.
You would like throw toilet paper at houses or like throw eggs on cars and soap them. And like in the cities, like in Camden, which was like a real hood area, they would like do structure fires, arson, and murders. So it's like hood, they're killing people and like doing more arson than usual. And in the suburbs, like
Grand Theft Auto type shit.
yes, or like BLM 2020, but just for a night. You know, it's sustainable. One night.
No, they don't. I went to a lot of BLM rallies, and I didn't see anything like that happening.
Well, there's a difference between a rally and a riot. A lot of them turn to riots. Like,
okay, none of the ones I went to seemed like that.
No, they're not all riots, but there were a lot of riots that popped up, and a lot of like Minneapolis had that police station burning. That was like what Camden would be for a night, but it was like you knew the night was coming. And in their defense, they burnt down a lot of buildings that were burnt down the year before. So it's really no loss at that point. I mean, the city's not removing them. You could call it being a good citizen.
Yeah.
And in the suburbs, you'd wake up and there'd be toilet paper all over the trees. So it was like, that was kind of cool. You'd come out after mischief night and like everything's covered in toilet paper. Like you take the roll and throw it and try and get it up over the trees. So it was like decorating. I mean, you use the cheap stuff, so it just dissolves when you put any water on it.
Anybody under 35 is going to do this and go,
what's happening right now?
Yo, make mischief night great again.
No, yeah.
We could bring it back, People in their 40s start doing mischief night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the kids that did it. I think
that's true.
I think kids need that. Like I'd encourage a mission, like maybe not eggs because they're too expensive, but like you can buy some like 1-ply Scott toilet paper and toilet paper the hell out of something.
Wow, I love that we're budgeting our pranks now. This is a cool subgenre.
I did that.
Well, you don't want to use like the 4-ply
I don't
stuff.
know if we can.
It's fun to say.
Wait,
I saw one of the stickers.
So not only do you blame Biden, but weren't you blaming Obama the last time we hung out?
Maybe.
You're like, that sounds like my MO.
Oh yeah,
All of them have a certain amount of blame that should be assigned to them. You know what I mean?
dude.
I'm mad at
No, but it was something crazy in the story that happened. You were like, and it was honestly because of Obama.
Was it when I got extradited for
I
$100?
think, yeah, you're like, this is Obama.
This has his fingerprints all over it.
He started hanging everybody to house prisoners. So
Dude,
it's not like when people go for petty crimes, they were like hooking them up on petty crimes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
So it was like
blaming the current president for being in jail. I'm like,
Oh,
that's not his fault.
no. He had this program where he was paying, like local governments to keep prisoners in jail longer.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
So they spent, I think, $1,300 is what the extradition guy told me.
We're gonna catch so much hate for criticizing Obama.
To
At
come
all.
get me.
I voted for Obama, guys.
I did once.
for like 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they got $6,000 for me from the federal government. Paid $1,200 for me to get extradited, but it was over $120. I owed them. See what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you got to remember, dude. When you get in trouble with the law, it's called like a charge.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Then you have to make bail.
Yeah.
And you're out on
it's just
bond.
extraction. It's
These are all
extraction of money from you.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Don't try to put everything on the Jews. We see that shit coming a mile away.
I'm just saying.
I love Levi's thought pattern. He's like, I'm gonna blame Biden, Obama, and then the Jews. No, but honestly, that's just true if you look at it. That's what Levi's thought pattern.
Look, and
I would say the Vatican has more to blame than the Jews in that regard. If that's that kind of system.
All right, now I can get behind that. I don't like that.
yeah, I don't like
the common ground.
What you'll learn is eventually I'll cover every day.
Yeah, you are equal opportunity. I respect that.
Yeah, and look, anybody that's in a position of power, you can attribute some blame to. Like they've affected your not that they're going after you personally, but they've done something that is going to affect you and have like that's what trickles down is like their crazy decisions. It's not the money, like that's not trickling down. It's the decisions that they decide to make that have these rippling effects where it's like, all right, now everybody's in jail. Now we're going to spring them all loose. Now everybody's back in jail. Now we're going to spring them all loose. Like, oh, COVID happened. Now we're going to make a virus and like tell everybody we did it. And you can attribute that.
Sorry. But during COVID, they let a bunch of people out of jail, but they were like, you can't leave your house.
Yeah.
Like, and then easy to way to keep people at home is to let them out of jail. That's a very modern.
Oh my god!
Like worrying about prisoners getting sick seems kind of weird to me too. It's like, well, like people get sick in jail all the time. Like you can't.
People die.
I've seen Oz. I know that
guy.
Adebisi.
Oh man, yeah, you be getting people with that AIDS needle out of me.
Yeah, he was
sticking.
Yeah, he was sticking the Italian guy with the AIDS needle, right?
Yeah, he got like 4 people with that AIDS needle, and he had a gun in one season too.
Yeah,
he was too overpowered.
Dude,
it was an impossible show. That was like a liberal fantasy about just like. And the prisons, and they have their own system of justice, and the guards are just as bad as the cops. It's just like so dumb. Oz, yeah, it's the worst HBO show.
Kareem, dude, I really like that
the
show.
Black Muslim guy sucks.
But he's the one that took out Adebisi.
For weapons or tools to dig out of.
Yeah, he murders Adebisi because he's a hypocrite.
It's a good show because it's one where you're rooting for people to die. You're like, man, I hope somebody kills Adebisi. Like, And I still remember this.
so
That's how I feel when I watch like Real Housewives.
it
Yeah.
is like almost
Rooting
that
for one of
stupid.
them to die.
And it's weird because like HBO does high quality shit, so it's just it's so below their usual tier.
I'm a big Oz fan. It's a dumb
Really?
show. Oh
No.
yeah, I watch that. I watch.
It might be entertaining, but it's not well written like their
Oh,
other shit.
No, it's complete fantasy.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, like The Sopranos, The Wire, those are good shows that are entertaining, but also have a believability. There's a realistic, like, groundedness to the universe. Oz is like, just this like fantasy.
The downside of Oz, the big downside of Oz, was the gratuitous penis scenes. I could have done without all of them. There'd be like
was a lot
someone
of gay
getting
shit
shanked in the
there.
shower, and then it's just like, yo, come on, man. I don't need to see that.
I
Like,
don't need to
there's
see
way
that.
too much of that.
Paralyzed waist down.
Yeah, there was a guy that was paralyzed from the waist down.
That'd be a worthless rape there, wouldn't it?
Augustus.
No one rapes him. You'd think
no.
they would.
He's unrapeable. He gets flung out of the chair though. Like they're not afraid
that
to
was
attack.
kind of
Yeah.
That was supposed to be dramatic, but the comedian, I just laughed so much. I was like,
well, because he was like preachy, that guy, right? He was like
he was
like
the
prophet
narrator on top of being crippled. It was like, how much moral virtue is one fucking prisoner really believably gonna have? Like, he did murder someone. We're really gonna be like, oh yeah, this is like a good guy.
Yeah, that was looking back on it, that was definitely straight up like liberal criminal worship, because they assigned a certain amount of virtue to each prisoner, and like they didn't really
doesn't exist in real life.
Right,
like they're like anybody in that maximum security prison, sorry, is like probably a piece of shit. And like for them to pretend that they were like family oriented or honor bound. It's just like, no, come on, man.
Don't they back like the Innocence Project too? Like I know they have a bunch of documentaries.
Yeah.
Innocence Project on there.
Oh,
kind of.
You mean the one that pops people out of jail that they know are actually guilty, and then they get out and kill again, and they brag about it?
The dude from the Memphis 3.
I think if there are people, here's my thing. I think I'm against people being executed. Just because it's actually more expensive to do lethal injection than to just imprison people, because we fuck it up so badly. And then the other thing is, but then the other fucked up thing is that the messed up thing though with the death penalty is, what if you're proven innocent later and you've already been executed?
So
like,
I think
why I got to keep him in prison.
I think there needs to, like with the fact that everything's surveilled nowadays.
That's terrible.
Right, like there's surveillance on everything now. So if like you have a guy that you see like on camera, all right, that's him, and he shoots him, and then he shoots him again, and like he steals his wallet. Now he's having sex with his dead body. Like, that's a guy we don't need to keep in jail. Like, and we don't need to lethal inject either. Like, we can take care of him right at the end of the trial. Like, guilty, all right, and like somebody just claps this guy in the head. Boom.
That is the guy that we do need on a pay-per-view TV show.
Yeah.
With other guys like that. Engaged in area.
Yeah, or you put them on an island and you live stream them. You know, like, we do something. I mean, they're monetizing prisoners so that the government makes money. You know, what if a multinational corporation could make money doing it? You know, who would be owning it? Who would be owning it, Levi? If
the Jews.
You know, you get some affiliate partnerships.
That in the state of Florida, that privatized prisons make more money than tourism here.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, and that
is very Florida.
That seems crazy too.
It is very Florida. I mean, it is just a circle of life with Florida man.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up here.
We got to wrap it up.
Yep.
Wrap
it up.
All right, episode 5, part 2. That's the end. Everybody say peace.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Good seeing y'all again.
This is Jake and Casey's podcast.
Is that a real bird?
Thanks again, Casey, for setting this up.
Is that
Peace.
Is that a real bird, real quick, above your head?
No, that's a fake bird.
Okay. All right.
Hell yeah.
We're good. All right, Jake.
Hell yeah.
Hang it, though.
Later,
Peace,
brother.
Late.
Peace.
Bye.